my whole ancestor family sing it while they were all still alive, and that's why it's always been my favorite. Hane na yo ma yo me ne ye ne ksach ko ma yo me ne o sa mi tu me ne anya wa ne Domena hane na yumeyo. Hotsko koesti tapste omokanensksheni, but I don't put that or with it, as far as I'm concerned, the Blue Thunder Lodge and something to do with the song. I mean, that's all I know. But I really like it. But in a sense, the Blue Thunder Lodge really belonged to No-Coat. Gate Sagas.
My ancestors were kind, loving, humorous, and forgiving people. They cherished their children, and they fiercely fought for our land, our water, our culture, our language, and our lives. Women were life givers. They belonged to the Motokiks, the Buffalo Women's Society, and they were central to our Okan, our medicine lodge. And they breastfed several children at once, even those they did not birth, but loved so deeply. My generation is working on the history and the genealogy of our families going back 7 generations to learn and appreciate the stories of how our family lived and how we survived. We find strength, pride, and love in all these stories. We also became curious about the time alcohol started dominating our nation. Alcohol and violence against women came from the fur traders, the railroad, the cattle companies. And in 1954, 2 years before I was born, alcohol became legal for Indians to drink. My grandma Cecile Russell had 17 births, and we traced 13 of them that lived and went on to have families here on our reservation. Grandma Cecile was born in 1882 and died a very painful death of tuberculosis when she was 44 years old, a year after Native Americans officially became citizens of the United States of America. Her allotment number is 415. We found no whiskey stories with my grandma Cecile Russell. She never drank. My grandma Irene Bullshoe Cooper, Awatsky, was born in 1907 and was one of Grandma Cecile Russell's 13 live births. Of those 13, we found many stories of our women. Some had been raped as teenagers, stories of babies that died shortly after birth, and their mothers carried the secret of their death and the rape to their grave. Some of the women in our family drank themselves to death, had nervous breakdowns, or just plain went crazy. Our children were brutalized and sexually abused in Catholic boarding schools. We saw patterns of abandonment, rejection, pent-up rage, and that don't trust nobody attitude. Every story of violence or abuse was attached to alcohol or the aftermath of boarding school or sexual abuse. Those stories traveled into my life. When I used to drink whiskey, I would fight, sleep around, go to jail, and do all those crazy things. I did not know because of my parents' boarding school experience and a religion being forced on them that I had a trauma tattoo on my spirit, and that I had been brainwashed, and I almost became colonized. But I got sober, and I returned to our culture, and I have 25 years sobriety, and I can see clearly how my mom showed me how to leave an abusive alcohol situation and to not keep repeating the pattern. In fact, my mother, Betty Bullshoe Cooper, has been my saving grace, my life raft that has shown me how to become whole. She has been with me from the time she gave me life. She breastfed me. She taught me to read at 4. She went with me to the first days of my college. She put me on a plane to go to treatment. She even wiped away my tears when I was divorced, and even went with me to my first Idle No More on December 21st, 2012. I love to dance with my mom, hike with my mom, talk with my mom. I even sleep with her, and we don't see the need ever to drink whiskey.